If anything, Del Toro's overexcitable ambition muddied the focus, while the sequel plays more like the solidly entertaining A-list B-movie we all wanted the first time. We need that same knowledge, those same experiences, behind the scenes, as writers, directors, producers, and executives, those opportunities also, he says. It's only March and we're already quickly heading into big blockbuster territory, with the sequel to Guillermo del Toro's 2013 Pacific Rim being perhaps the first giant monster flick to hit the screens in 2018. The two things: when I came on, I sent Legendary a 5-page, Steve Decknight's manifesto of Pacific Rim. Two of the most important things were I thought the movie should be 2 hours or under, and it had to be fun. If you haven't given the original a rewatch in a while, don't worry, the first few minutes of Uprising are, quite literally, a montage narrated by Boyega to both recap and get any and all exposition out of the way as fumbling and awkwardly as possible. Pacific Rim Uprising picks up 10 years after the events of Pacific Rim, which saw Stacker Pentecost, Idris Elba, sacrifice himself to close the breach and prevent any more kaiju from coming to Earth. The Jaeger's movements, you'll recall, are facilitated by the little human pilots strapped into a cockpit in the head of the Jaeger. But circumstances conspire to bring Jock back into the pilot fold at the behest of his adoptive sister Mako Mori, Rinku Kikuchi, another original Rim hero, now an important figure in worldwide relations. The movie also brings in a younger crew of soldiers who must enter a neural drift to pilot the robot crafts, including scavenging orphan Amara, Kaylee Spanny. The detractors of Pacific Rim called it a second-rate mashup of Transformers and Godzilla, and this time they're actually right. The film's audience score is not up yet, but it will be interesting to see if average moviegoers are more kind to the film's overall quality. Soon, the government scoops up Amara, Jake and Scrapper. Vern Gorman, Charlie Day and Rinko Kikuchi have returned to reprise their roles of Dr. Herman Gottlieb, Dr. Newt Geisler and Mako Mori from the first film. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to be involved and creative in this way. I think they've got to fixate on who we're hiring, Boyega tells ABC Radio. All in all, it's pretty family-friendly for an action movie. Her scenes with Boyega are bearable, which is saying a lot because every moment of this film that doesn't involve robo-action is a real struggle. And the final battle flattens buildings for so long that it might be the least exciting element. Sure, it gains some brownie points for ambition. It charged ahead full speed despite losing the bulk of its original cast and its original director, the daunting to replace Guillermo del Toro, but like so many sci-fi sequels of the last decade, all this gung-ho momentum was funneled into what it could do, rather than what it should. Decknight, a filmmaker whose credits include the TV dramas Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Spartacus and Daredevil, said he did his best to infuse what fans loved about the first Pacific Rim into a fresh story here. As a sidekick he's given a brilliant, audacious teenage girl more of this, and the entire cast is so gorgeously diverse that it should set the standard going forward. Though the movie takes its own sweet time to deliver on this, you can't help but feel excited on seeing robots beat the shit out of the monsters, even when the sequence drags to no end. With that said, Pacific Rim Uprising is undoubtedly a lighter film than its predecessor and has no qualms about cracking jokes at the expense of itself or its universe.